of Ramayanam Navaham by Chiranjeevi Deepak Vaidyanathan. He is a very versatile aspirant who knows the Vedas and the scriptures and is trained to do upanyasams as a part of the Ramayanam Navaham. Today his discourse will be on Paduka Pattabhishekam. We heartily welcome this exceptionally talented and extremely knowledgeable child, Chiranjeevi Deepak Vaidyanathan. Start பண்ணக்கோந்த.
Saram. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Gopiga Jeevana Smaranam Govinda Govinda. Sadguru Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Kanto Matulo Yasya Janani Saramgala. Janakaha Shankaro Devaha Dambande Kunjaranam. Vakunda Nallamanamunda Mamalarano Kunda Meni Unangade. Ukkondu Tuppa Triveni Gumvikayam Padam Tappamal Jarvartamakke. Vagishadya Sumanasa Sarvatanapukrame. Yennatvakritya Suhutam Namavi Gajanam. Todvidyukta Chadubbihi Spatikamani Makshamalan Dadana. Haste Neike Namadvamjitamushakam Pustakam Chaparena. Basam Kundendu Shankas Patikamaniba Basamana Samana. Same Bhagdevate Yamnivasudvadane Sarvada Suprasanna. Pujantam Rama Rameti Madaram Maduraksharam. Arushya Kapita Shaka Vande Valmiki Gokiram. Anjaneya Matipatalānanam Kanjanatri Kamaniya Vigraham Parijata Tarumulavasinam Bhavayami Pavamanandanam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Mastakanjalim Bashpavari Paripurnalochanam Marutim Namadanatha Santakam Manojapam Marutulyavegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatpajam Vadarayuta Bukyam Shiramadutam Shirasa Namami Shri Namaha Shri Namaha Shri Namaha Janaki Kanta Smaranam Jai Jai Rama Rama Sadguru Swabinaha Jai Anjaneya Swabinaha Jai. By the grace of Shivapati Sriman Narayana, we are fortunate to do a wonderful satsang in Ramayana Navaham. As last satsang we have seen about we have seen Pitruvakya Paripalanam in such a way that Rama had obeyed and adhered to his own principles, as well as he had shown an excellent example of how a son must be to his father amidst all the circumstances. The same Dasaratha who was overwhelmed by the people's comment, by the people's love towards Rama, and he himself had declared Rama as his heir apparent. On the day after the praise he received, positive comments he received from the people, and after he got entangled, after he got influenced by Kaikeyi's oath, as many say that Dasaratha got influenced because he was lustful towards Kaikeyi. But but I don't feel it's not a correct way to portray Dasaratha. He wasn't marred, he wasn't lured by her beauty. He has arrived into the conclusion, he has came into a sudden conclusion because of the oath which he took from Kaikeyi. That is what clearly it is mentioned in Bhagavathar. There it is said, Tam Satyapashaha. Because since he was entangled by the thread of truth, he couldn't get rid of it. He couldn't digest it, even though he couldn't digest the fact as if we chew the bitter gourd. If we chew the bitter gourd that is present in sambar, it will give us a taste, it will give us a bitter taste. Because the name itself gives us the taste. Even though it gives us the bitter taste, it does something good for our body. It removes all the things that curb our intestine, that curb our stomach, that disturb the stomach. The same thing, the same effect has been felt by Dasharatha. Even though he had taken the oath that he can't forfeit Kaikeyi's truth, he won't forbid that. But he can't accept. How can he send Rama to forest for exile? How can he send? And who gave him? Even though he was the man of all qualities, will a person strive with a person be hesitant to send his respective son to the forest? Dearmost son, that too. He really liked Rama. And amidst all those problems, Dasharatha tried to convince Kaikeyi that if you want to arrest a drunkard, if you want to release a drunkard, I will do it. If you want me to guillotine a very good person, a person with noble qualities, and by putting a false case for false statement, if you want me to arrest them, I am ready to do that. But I can't tolerate and digest, and I can never send Rama to 14 years of exile, which I can't bear it. You ask me anything other than Rama's 14 years of banishment, 14 years of exile, which I can never tolerate it. Even though Dasharatha was hesitant, he collapsed at the moment. But Sumantra, due to Sumantra's request, he requested Rama to meet Dasharatha, which these episodes we have seen in the last satsang, but I'm still rewinding it. Because to show the qualities, the attributes which Rama had, and that position also, Kaikeyi also doubted Rama. That in front of father, you wanted to show that I am a very good person. But practically, you have the desire, you have an inherent desire to attain the kingship, which Kaikeyi also doubted him. And he show, and in that place, you see how Rama carefully and as well as tacitfully handle the situation that we have to observe from him. It's easy to say in this position, but if you be in that stage, what will we do? We have to imagine that. We know only to quarrel. We don't know to resolve any situation. We know only to quarrel because to satisfy our ego, to satisfy our own pleasure. That is why we fight with others. To prove that I am correct. That is the problem everyone has. That's why in every industry, wherever you go, with that mind, if a person works, then he has the chance to survive, because lot of pollution over there. People have different qualities, and they all work in their egos. By using the ego as their power, they do their work, and that is the reason they have the mind to dominate others. They have the mind to tacitfully expose others. That is the problem which people face. That is the problem which people does. That is the problem people. That is the problem. You see frequent fights everywhere, be it in politics and be it in any field. Why you see a lot of fight over there? Because of ego, which Rama had given us how a person has to be, how the person has to conquer his own ego. Even though Kaikeyi throws allegations, even though she threw allegation, but Rama maintained his composure and tried somehow to convince her. He tried his best. But what we will do, even though we try to convince others, our main problem is we want to make them convinced. We want to get the work done. We want to get them healed. We want them to bow. That is our problem. That is our main problem which the people does, which Rama showed here. But the news has reached all over Ayodhya. I mean the palace. Even Kausalya Amma was ready to bless Rama. At that time, Rama slowly he told the incident about Kaikeyi's oath. And that has also shocked Kausalya Amma, as she thought that she was very concerned about Rama, that he would be leaving Ayodhya for 14 years. And who would take care of his tummy? And who would take care of his diet? Which a mother must have, which she has shown. As she was ready to sacrifice everything for the sake of Rama. But Rama resisted. As she has her husband, she has a wonderful husband. Her prime duty is to serve him rather than leaving everything for the sake of her own child, which Rama spoke about the Pativrita Dharma, how a chaste woman has to be, which Rama has highlighted. And he had a slight fear. He was very fearful in terms of convincing Sita, because she is 18 years old girl woman, and he is around 25 years, 23 years, sorry. And she is very, that too, it is very early to make her understand, to tell about Vanavas, to tell about 14 years of exile, because she is in that position to enjoy all the lavish pleasures. As she is also daughter of Janaka, the king of Mithila. And how would she digest this fact, which he had that question? And he somehow tried to tell that wherever you go to forest, lot of problems occur here and here and thither. So it's better don't go to forest. You better be in Ayodhya. People are there to look after you, especially my brother, younger brother Bharata, who would give you respect, and whatever meals and whatever lunch and whatever dinner you want, he would he himself would serve you. Bharata is there to look after you, which Rama told everything to Sita. And Sita counterattacked Rama's words, and she counter questioned Rama, that you told your mother Kausalya Amma, that you have to look after your husband. What about my case? And she said, Rama Jamatram Prapya Striyam Purusha Vigraham. And she has commented, she played a playful banter, the Rama Jamatram Prapya. That my father had done a very big mistake. He had done a grave mistake of marrying you with me. Even though you have broken the bow, even though you did Dhanurbanga, everything you have done, but you look like a woman, but your traits resemble woman characteristics. So, Striyam Purusha Vigraham. Even though you look like a person, your traits resemble like a woman, which she said in a playful manner. Rama understood Sita's mind, and slowly he gracefully accepted Sita. And at that time, Dasarada pleaded Rama not to leave the forest, not to leave the forest, don't go to forest. At least be in the kingdom and arrest me and take and assume your kinship duties, resume your kinship duties, which Dasarada pleaded, begged. Rama didn't pay heed to him, and he told that for 1,000 years or 100 years, you are the king of the you are the king of Ayodhya. So no one can replace you, which Rama told Dasartha, and Dasartha wasn't convinced. And Lakshmana was ready to stop Rama by telling him that by our force we can rule the kingdom, which he couldn't tolerate Kaikeyi's atrocities. And Rama convinced him by means of Dharma. So Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, all three together, they boarded on a chariot, and people were very excited to see Rama's arrival. Everyone were very happy. As they said, Escha Ramam na pascheyam, Yancha Ramo na paschyati, Ninditaha savai loke, Swatmapi evam vigarhayet. As Escha Ramo na pascheyam. If we didn't see that Rama, Yancha Ramo na paschyati, we will never ever see Rama. Nindita sahavai loke. Those people, if we couldn't see Rama, that too in his error by being his contemporary, Swatma Perum Vihare, it is a waste of being born in this world. Which the people were very excited to see Rama by looking at Rama, who was wearing an ochre robes, and that too his hair were loose. That too even in the case of Lakshmana, and Sita somehow tied that robe by Rama's assistance, by Rama's help. But people couldn't tolerate that look because they wanted to see Rama as the heir apparent of the Ayodhya, of Surya Vamsha, which people couldn't tolerate. Everyone pleaded, everyone begged, don't leave us, don't leave us. And he said that Matpriyatam Visheshena Bharatena Savidiyata. Whatever the love affections you have delivered and you have showered to me, do it do it same to Bharata, which Rama addressed the people, and people weren't convinced. Dasartha wasn't convinced, and Dasartha followed Rama, and he requested Sumantra to stop. He ordered Sumantra to stop, and Sumantra was puzzled whether to follow Rama or whether to follow Dasartha. And Rama tells Sumantra to board immediately by not looking at Dasartha's state, by not looking Dasartha's state as he was lying on the ground. By not looking at him, he requests and he orders the Sumantra to take the chariot immediately. And by Rama's order, somehow, with half mind, Sumantra had rode the chariot, and he went to the place where Lord went to the place where the he went to the place where Ganga, where the distributor of Ganga is present. To that place he went, and the people with with and the people with such mind, they all went along with Rama. They wanted to see Rama, and they don't want to be in Ayodhya. So everyone had arranged the camp to be along with Rama. Everyone were there, and Rama thought for a mind how to leave those people. They have sacrificed their sleep, they sacrificed their food, they sacrificed their daily wage duties, and they sacrificed their own austerities for the sake of me. They were ready to die. Even though I'm not interested to, even though I'm due to oath, I'm supposed to leave this place. But I can't console and convince these people. And if I go to some place, they will also follow me. So rather than convincing them, better he devised a trick to wake Sumantra at midnight and tell him gradually to move the chariot such that he wanted to go to Sringibelapura. That is around 10-15 kilometers from Ayodhya. And by his request, he told Sumantra to show them an imprint that I have reached Ayodhya. By showing them, Sumantra slightly took a left turn, and then he has gone straight and went to Sringibelapuram. And by the moment Rama, Lakshmana, Sita reached Sringibelapuram, he had seen Ganga. It was overflowing casually. By looking at Ganga, what comes to our mind? It Ganga Stakam comes to our mind. By looking at Ganga, Acharya prays Bhagavati Tavatire Niramatra Shanoyam Vigata Vishaya Krishnam Krishnam Aradayami, which he prays to Ganga that I am indeed blessed to drink your Niramatra Shanoyam, drink your water as Vigata Vishaya Trishnam Krishnam Aradayami. As Vigata Vishaya Trishnam, I am bored by these worldly affairs, by these worldly things, by indulging in worldly affairs. I'm really bored. I don't want to do it because nothing gives us a meaningful life. If I attain something, jealousy arises in our mind by looking at other person's life, by looking at other person's career. Even though if I get something, if other person gets a thing which is greater, much more greater to our value, it automatically our mind would think, our mind would wait for something. It would long for a very big thing that he has got that thing. Somehow we have to get that thing such that people will be happy, such that such that people would praise me, such that people would recognize me, and I want people to follow me. Such kind of mentality comes to our mind. knowingly or unknowingly, because we are humans, we are not God, full of malice. So, somewhere our mind would develop. That's why Acharya is told, Acharya says, Vigata Vishaya Trishna, Krishna Maradayami. Vigata Vishaya Trishna. I don't want this world. It's better rather than thirsting, begging for our worldly affairs and matters to be solved. I better stay in the Ghat of Ganga, any Ghat of Ganga, be it Asi Ghat, be it Dasashwamedh Ghat, be it Mandikarnika Ghat, anywhere in Ganga. I want unconditional relationship with Ganga. That will release all my impurities which I have accumulated in my previous janma, previous birth. And at the same time, it has to give me a tinge of Krishna Bhakti. That's why I wanted to stay in the Ghat of Ganga, and I wanted to drink that water from Ganga, from the Ganges, which Acharya has mentioned, highlighted the greatness of Ganga. The same Bhava has been seen in Rama. While looking at Ganga, he he reminds, he remembers the story which Vishwamitra told him while he was while he was crossing Mithila, as he told the greatness of Ganga, which we have seen in Balaganda. During Sita Kalyanam session, we have seen the story. By reminding that, he has praised Ganga, Vishnupada Chuta Bhumau, Apata Patpanashini, Vishnupada Chuta Bhumau, Apata Padanashini. By looking at Ganga, it came from Mahavishnu's divine feet. Tam Sankara Jatajutam. And that has also pleased Parameshwara, because he has received the prasad from Bhagavan's feet, to show how a Bhagavata has to be, how a Bhagavad Bhakta has to be. A Bhagavad Bhakta, the prime duty of a Bhagavad Bhakta is to receive the feed, he has to bear the divine water, the Pada Tirtha from Bhagavan. That is what Hiranyakashipu, that is what Prahlada told Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu questioned Prahlada, Prahlada, where did you get this bhakti? And that comes continuously, at, that comes from your heart. You don't say, you are not saying it for fun. You are saying with utmost seriousness. Where did it come, Prahlada? Which he questioned. He told, Mahiyasam Padrachaha Abhishekaha Niskrincharanam Navrinita Yavad in Bhagavatam. Prahlada said, Mahiyasa Padrachaha Abhishekam. For the previous karma, even though I have taken lot of births, in one such birth, Mahiyasam Padarajaha Abhishekam, I had offered the water, I had did Pada Abhishekam, I had offered water to the divine, to the feet of the sadhus, to the mendicants. Niskinchana namna vrinita yavat. And that too with no desire. Because many of the people come to sadhus, want to mendicants to satisfy their own desire. That's why you see their publicity. They don't publicize themselves. That is the problem which the people has. They don't publicize. And they don't like to publicize. And they don't want publicity. They don't want people to praise them. They don't want any contact with people, which like we want. Because our work has to be done. That is the main purpose which we stick with people. Even though they don't stick with people, but what makes them to stick with people is to get their desire satisfied. As Prahlada told, he didn't want his sensual desires to get satisfied. He had worshipped the sadhus to get a tinge of Krishna Bhakti. To get Krishna Bhakti. And to get, he doesn't want his Bhakti to be, he wants his Bhakti to be unwaverable. That is the prayer which he had showered to, he told to Hiranyakashipu. And that is the reason I chant Narayana continuously, like we breathe. Like I breathe. The same bhava has been shown by Rama. Vishnupad has been displayed by Parameshwara. He bore all the water from Mahavishnu's divine feet, and because of Bhagirath's penance, he has released that some uh, some water that came from Parameshwara's matted logs is being here right now, which Rama tells Lakshmana about the story of Ganga. Once again, Rama tells, he told Lakshmana, and at that time he was waiting there for a long period. Sumantra was very wondered, as he wanted when had he was ready that if Rama tells Sumantra to leave, let us go to some other place. Then Sumatra was very pleased and he was very delighted to follow Rama's order because he is bored of being in Ayodhya, as he couldn't tolerate the act done by Kaikeyi, and he wants to be in association with Rama. He was ready. He was ready to sacrifice everything for Rama. He was ready to serve Rama. But the problem is, even though he is also a minister in Dasaratha's cabinet, he has to he has to attend all the matters, which all the meetings which conducts, Dasaratha conducts. He has to attend all the meetings. That is the problem which he had. But he thought that he has taken an extended holiday to follow Rama. He was ready, but the problem is he can't leave his king because he was ever loyal to him, and he was very delighted by looking at Rama, and he was ready to Rama was about to say, and at that time he was waiting for a boat. He was waiting for a boatsman who is none other than Guha. Tatra asit Guho namaha Ramasyaha Atmasamashaka. He praises about Guha. Tatra asit Guho nama Ramasya Atmasamashaka. He is equal to Rama. Nisadarajo Balavan Satyavan Jitendriyaha. Nishada, he is a king of the Nishada clan. Like, he was truthful like Rama. He had no such desires in his mind. He was ready to help Rama anytime and every time. And at that time, he had suddenly brought all the people, all the clan and community from his clan, and he surrendered everything to Rama. But the problem is, he couldn't. But the thing is, he was ready to serve Rama, and that has also melted Rama's heart. And he couldn't. Right. And he also wanted Rama to stay along with him in the forest. That is the problem. That is the thing he wanted. Because when Rama goes for a hunt, Guha assists him, and he reminds him, and he welcomes him, and he hugs him as if he's his fifth younger brother. And that is the bhava and that is the expression which Tirumangai Alvar said in his Pasaram. ஏழை ஏதலன் கீழ்மகள் என்னாது இறங்கி மற்றவர்க்கு இன்னருள் சுரந்து வாழை மான்மட நோக்கி உன் தோழி உன்பி என்பி என்று ஒரிந்திலை உகந்து தோழன் நீ எனக்கு இங்கொழி ஈன்ற சொற்கள் வந்தடி ஏன் மனத்து இருந்திட ஆழிவண்ணா நின் அடியினை அடைந்தேன் அணிம்பொருள் திருவரங்கள் தம்மானே. ஏழை ஏதலன். Here he shows Guha's status, because for a person to serve Ranganatha, for a person to get the darshan of Ranganatha, he has to do hundreds and thousands years of penance, that too with utmost steadfastness. But here, in the case of Guha, ஏழை ஏதலன், he was poor. ஏதலன் கீழ்மகன் என்னாது, that too he was not from a very good caste. By birth, he was a hunter. இறங்கி மற்றவர்க்கு இன்னருள் சுரந்து, and that shows, and on the other line, that shows the compassion of Rama. That shows a compassion of Ranganatha. While he incarnated as Rama. Irangi Matravarki Innerul Surande. And Bhagavan is always Sulaman. Is always easy. Was already easily he can be approached in the sense of blessing people. That is what Nammalvar said in his Pasaram, Patrudai Adiyavar Kiliyavan Pirark Ariyavittagan. To those who worship him, to those who's ready to worship him in terms of bhakti, by showering unconditional love to Bhagavan, he would be easily entangled by their bhakti. And he would be enslaved to that very most disciple, and he won't care about whatever problems and whatever bad qualities that person has. That is what Bhagavan has assured in Gita. Apiche suduracharaha bhajate mamananyabhak sadureva samantavyaha samyak vyavasitobisa sadureva samantavyaha samyak vyavasitobisa. It's Bhagavan said in Gita. Whatever the bad qualities the person might have, I am ready to serve that person. I am ready to bless that person. Which the same thing Thirumangai Alvar said in Tamil. Irangi Matravarku in Arul Surande Madai Manmada Nokki Untori. And he has entered in the, now he has enacted the role of Guha in this Pasuram. And he has entered into the shoes of Guha. Madai Manmadakku Untori Unbi Enbi Entru Urintile Ugande. Like, he has displayed Rama's compassion. He has showed, by saying this, Guha Sakya is over. His relationship with Guha is over. With that itself, we can say Guha's relationship. But what here he briefly mentions is Rama's to showcase the love towards God. He shows the Prema Bhakti. Maadai Manmadai Unmadan Todiin. Unmadan Madan Noki Untodi. Sorry. By approaching him, Unbi Enbi, you are from my side, which in Tamil say, Nee Emmai Seyandavan, which you are always my side, which Rama welcomes him, heartily welcomes him, hugs him, and he tells Guha, how's your body and how's your physique, and how you look after your family. And he also encourages Guha to keep his physique strong, which he also encourages Guha to take care of the family. And he tells him the kingship duties. Wherever he goes, he preaches dharma. It is not only in Krishna Avatara. In Rama Avatara, he also does this. Later, to Bharata, he would do the same thing, which we'll see. When Rama approaches Guha, when Rama gives a lot of Upadesha to Guha, and Guha was very happy and delighted, and he had offered him the board to go to Sringiberapura. He was in the outskirts of Ayodhya, even though Rama, he is right now entering into the town of Sringiberapura with Guha's assistance, and all the people were following him. And Rama was very devoted by his service. And he asked, which the commentators say, which they have commented in Ramayana, especially Priyavachan Pillai, by using the reference of 4,000 Divya Prabandhas. By using Alva's Pasurams, he has given us the beautiful commentary in case of Guha Sakyam. No one can give that. And at that time, Rama was very pleased with Guha's service, and he asked, Guha, I am very impressed. I am really impressed by your service. What do you want from me? Don't hesitate to ask from me. Because Guha had seen him as Bhagavan. That is what Thirumangai Alvar said. Thodan neerki ingodi என்ற ஈன்ற சொற்கள் வந்தடி என் மனத்து இருந்திட. As even though by your sweet words, by your charming words that has attracted me, you have to give me that unconditional bhakti which he prays. Arivannanin adine adeindhen. I want to attain Vaikunta, which the person, which Bhagavan Ranganatha in Tirurangam, Sri Ranganatha Swami Periya Perumal has to bestow me, which Thirumangai Alvar prays in the Baba of Guha. The same Baba Guha told that I don't want anything, but I have done one thing. By your grace, I have crossed Ganga by being a boatsman. But I want one thing, one help I want. Tell me, what help? Which Rama tells Guha Swami told, nothing I want. And one help is, you need to cross me from this samsara ocean, from the samsara river. As I'm tired, I'm exalted of being the samsara. Better you please bestow me the boon, and you bestow me, and you better aid me in crossing this samsara river, which out of love he has overflowed, he has showered his love towards Rama, and Rama once again hugged Guha. I gave him a tight hug, and at one night he stayed in Sringiberapura, and night came. At that night, Rama and Sita slept on a grass bed, and which has deeply hurted Lakshmana. And Lakshmana was narrating the incidents what has happened in Ayodhya to Guha, that he couldn't digest, he couldn't see Rama sleeping in a grass bed, as he was in the position to stay in Ayodhya. And why should he sleep in grass bed? He has to uh, he has to assume the kingship duties. That is his prime dharma. That is his primary dharma. But because of his bad time, he was forced to exile. It doesn't mean that Rama didn't desire for being a king of Ayodhya, which the people all desired, not for the sake of people. But what would we do? We would we would influence people. That is our problem. We influence people to support us by satisfying their needs. Point number one. Another is, we would also instigate a sense of rivalry in their minds, such that with the help of their assistance, you wanted to throw others and abort that king, about the throne. For the sake of throne, you are ready to kill everyone. That is what is shown in Mughal Empire. The Mughal dynasty has led to the collapse because of that desire, that killing desire which Shah Jahan had, which Aurangzeb had, which Akbar had, which all the kings, Babur also had, everyone had. And that is the reason for their collapse in their dynasty. The beauty is, the comedy is, while they all build their mahals, they all build their tomb for their beloved wife, and suddenly their life ended in jail. That is the tragedy that is a comedy and tragedy which you see in Mughal dynasty. And here in the case of Rama, he didn't aspire for anything. Even though he was following, he didn't sway away from Dharma, which Dasarada told, that the which Kausalya also blessed. Savai Raghava Sadhula Dharmastvam Abhirakshatu. That Dharma will always bless you. Whenever and wherever you go, Dharma would always follow you. That is the blessing which he had received from his mother Kausalya. But the problem is, he didn't succeed his father. Even though his father also begged him to arrest me and assume the role of being a king of Ayodhya. Better you assume your kingship duties, which his father pleaded, and he has also requested Rama to do such kind of crime. And Rama forfeited, and Rama neglected it. And as a brother, I couldn't see Rama's calamity in such case. So I also tried my best to convince Rama, and Rama convinced me by doing Dharmopadesha, which all the incidents Lakshmana told Guha. He wasn't asleep. But looking at Rama, he stood awake, because he came here, Aham Sarvam Karishyami. By sacrificing my sleep for the sake of Rama, I would guard him. That is my primary duty, and that is my kartavya, which uh, which he had pledged in Ayodhya. And suddenly, as one day passed, Rama was ready to leave Sringiberapura. He wanted to bid adieu to those people, to Guha as well as community. And Guha was ready and he was waiting, he was longing to do some service to Rama. And he drank some water offered by Guha and some fruits which Guha gave. But Guha wasn't satisfied. He wasn't contented that I had served Rama. For one day I served Rama and I offered Rama for one day, which he wasn't convinced and he wasn't satisfied. And he was very greedy to serve Rama, to serve him because I'm the servant of Rama. But Rama was thinking what to give for Guha because of the unconditional love which he received from his side. So he requested Guha to bring milk from the palm tree. That in Tamil is called alampal. If a person applies it on his hair, it would stand erect. That is why in a recent ad you see bill cream. In bill cream, it is also of gel kind. If a person applies it, then he would grow, his hair would stand erect. And that will appeal hundreds and thousands of people. For the sake of this advertisement, we also apply bill cream. And the problem is, if a person has less hair, that too if his scalp is dry, then all the hair would fall down. That would lead to the baldness of his, and the person would be bald. That is the problem, which the people, by looking at the cinema stars, they would try to emulate from them. The similar kind of milk cream, I can say, that is the milk obtained from the palm tree. And he requested Guha to bring that. And Lakshmana was really perplexed and he was really hesitant by looking at the order which Rama gave. Because if his hair was untied, he looks even more beautiful. But he requests Guha to bring that milk. For what reason? Which Lakshmana was wondering. And for a few minutes he thought that, oh, Rama wants it to tie his hair because his mother had pledged him to wear a matted locks on his head, to wear jadabara, which his stepmother pledged. To satisfy her mother's pledge, Rama took some of the milk and he applied on his hair, and as a result that stood erect. And Lakshmana was very puzzled at how to tie my hair, which Rama himself decorated Lakshmana in a similar fashion which he had decorated himself. So both of them tied, and they all bowed to Guha that I am leaving to. And he asked Guha that after that which place am I supposed to go? By Guha's assistance, he had showed the ashrama that is near Triveni. It is Bharadwaj ashrama. By his request, Guha told Rama, and Rama went to Triveni and he stayed in Bharadwaj ashrama by accepting all the feast, all the lunch which he had made by his tapas shakti, by siddhi. By his practice, he has bought everything to Rama. Even though Rama was ready to sacrifice the lunch, but because of Bharadwaja's request, he somehow partook. He has partook some of the food from that. And the news reached the Ayodhya people, and they woke up by looking at the chariot, and they were ready to ask Sumantra to know the whereabouts of Rama. Everyone woke up. At that time, they saw the traces of the wheel, and they all thought that our Rama went to Ayodhya, so we'll go there. And by looking at the sharp turn and right, he has understood that Rama had bewitched us and Rama has fooled us. So, because of our sleep, we have forgotten Rama. Because of our sleep, we have lost Rama. So, what to do? And they had no other plans and they went to Ayodhya. And the news has reached Dasarada that Rama had went to Shringiberapura and Rama had went to Triveni. Somehow the news has reached, and the people were ready to meet Rama in Triveni. Even though because of their sleep we have lost Rama, and somehow we would regain Rama. So they were all ready and they were all thinking, and they were all ready to meet Rama. And in the king in the Ayodhya premises, nobody were there, and no meetings were conducted. Everything was shallow. And at that time, Sumantra was very he was waiting to accompany Rama, and Rama requested Sumantra to go back to his kingdom to report to Dasaratha of what are the things that happened there over there. And at that time, Rama took a holy bath in Triveni, Allahabad. That in those days we used to call Allahabad. Right now it is Prayagraj. He has took a bath in Prayagraj, and he prayed. And that in that place, the specialty is that every year Kumbh Mela might happen. And in that place, Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati both are interlinked together. Ganga is white in color, and Yamuna is black in color. And inherent current, invisible current Saraswati also mingles in that place. And that is called Triveni Sangam in Prayagraj. He is the Tirtha Raja. He is a god of all the holy Tirtha. By worshipping him, by taking a dip in Allahabad, in Prayagraj, sorry, by taking a dip in Prayagraj, all the sins would disappear, would vanish. Which Rama followed the Dharma, and he was also worried, at the same time, he was worried that people will follow us. So it's better to evade from them. So it's better to leave from that place rather than staying in that, rather than staying in Triveni. So people would again arrange a tent over here. So it's better we would leave that place. But the request, he asked Bharadwaja for a secluded place such that no one would be there. And Bharadwaja told there is one place, that is Chitrakuta. In the Chitrakuta, if you stay there, and that gives you more and more peace, and that also attracts Sita. By pinpointing Sita, he had showed Chitrakuta, and Rama, Lakshmana, Sita both stayed in Chitrakuta. And meanwhile, the people were ready to leave. And Sumantra reached Ayodhya, somehow reached Ayodhya after a week, because he couldn't leave Rama. While he was about to leave, he constantly looked at Rama to and fro to see Rama. He was really worried that I am leaving Rama. So what can I do? And he has also ordered me to tell the incidents what happened in during the 14 years of exile, which Rama also ordered me. So there's no other way. I can't forfeit it. I can't go ahead against it. And somehow he entered Ayodhya, and no such preparations took place. Drashtum Shakya Ayodhyayam Navidwan Nachanastikaha. As it is famous for all the festivals. It's a highly celebrated place. Wherever and whenever you go, and wherever you go, lot of celebrations occur in that place. It's a place of festival. So nobody is there. Everyone were in their house to chop, and no such celebrations took place. And everyone were somehow they're doing their own business. When they reached Ayodhya, the moment he reached Ayodhya, he was looking at which bhavan am I supposed to go, because I am being ill-treated by Kaikeyi. She has addressed me as Suta, as a charioteer. So, shall I go to Kaikeyi? Which he thought. And he thought whether am I supposed to leave Kausalya's bhavan, and she might be worried. And whether to reach Sumitra's bhavan. He thought twice, thrice to enter into the palace, and somehow he entered into Kausalya's bhavan. There Dasaratha was sleeping in a cot, and somehow he crouched and looked at Sumantra. Looking at him, he requested him to come here, and he cuddled him, and he cajoled him, and he hugged him to know where was Rama, which he asked him. That too, in a worried way. His mind wasn't consoled, even though he somehow managed the first stroke which occurred. even though he somehow managed the ailments, but he couldn't manage the loss of Rama. He couldn't manage the separation of Rama, sorry. He spoke to Sumantra about what has happened over there. And all the things that happened. Everything he addressed to Sumantra. How's Rama and how's Lakshmana? And he, he told that. And Sumantra told he always loved his mother, and he offered namaskara to you. He would offer namaskara to you, is always indebted to you. By hearing Dasartha was moved, and by hearing to, and he further asked, what did Sita say about me? And Sita too said the same of what Rama had told. And he was again moved. And he was very curious to know that what did Lakshmana say? And what did he say about me? And he said that he couldn't accept you as a father. To him, Ravam Dasartham Vidhi. To him, his father always is Rama. He didn't, he couldn't accept he would accept the act done by Kaikeyi. So he can't tolerate the activity which they have done. So he had literally berated you. And Dasaratha thought for a while, yeah, what he said was correct. Because he had showered his unconditional love towards Rama. For Rama, he has sacrificed everything, even his wife. So what he said at that position was correct. So he has accepted Dasaratha's, Lakshmana's words, harsh words. But he was really worried of leaving Rama. And Kausalya at that time scolded Dasaratha that you paid heed to Kaikeyi's words, and look at your condition. You are now crying for Rama. And you have also you also made me to worry for the Putra Shoka. Even though I didn't lose my son, I am not with him. That is the problem. My son is not dead. And that separation is giving me a similar feeling of me losing my own son. It is giving me a similar feeling. But I didn't lose my son. But you have somehow, by to satisfy in the name of Satya, in the name of Pratignya, in the name of oath, you have sacrificed your son for 14 years of exile. And you sent him for banishment. And how such a grave crime you have done. And right now you are remorsing about Rama. That I have left him, I have left him, I have left him. You are crying right now. Then what's the point in that? Which Dasaratha cried at that, which he told Dasaratha. And Dasaratha at that time in return told them the story of the reason, the consequence which he was facing as of now, by telling him the story of Shravana Kumara. While in his youth, he was searching. He went to the forest for the sake of hunting. For the sake of hunting, he went to the forest. At that time, he thought that there was some animal drinking water, and since he used to detect that, he applied Shabdavedi, and that power, and that arrow had the power to detect wherever the sound had come. So he sounded like some animal is drinking water. So to put an end to it, he had applied Shabdavedi arrow, and that has detected the sound of a person, and that has detected the sound, and it suddenly hit one person. From that, the person shouted, "Ah!" And then he has understood that by mistake, I had killed one person. So he suddenly went there, and he seeked refuge, and he seeked atonement that what I have done a crime. Please forgive me, which he has begged him. And Shravana Kumar in turn told, and whatever you did was incorrect. Since you repented for the sin, you won't be cursed. But I am the only person who has proper vision. But look at my parents. By looking at their plight, both were blind, and I am the only person who carry them on my shoulders. And at the same time, wherever they go, I would give them water, and I was ready to bath them and suddenly you have entered my life. You entered my life. So what to do? Which Dasarada told, said to with folded hands, and Shravana Kumara told, "Take me to my parents. Take this body to my parents." By saying that, he had passed away. He has left his breath. Then Dasarada was very worried with his with tearful moments, with his tearful eyes. He carried Shravana Kumara and went to the place. And those blind couple, they have understood that somebody had came because they were calling Shravana, Shravana, Shravana. So, and they didn't hear his son's voice. As whenever they called his name, he would say, "Ma, I'm ready. I'm ready. I have come right now." Which he would tell in return. I couldn't hear that voice. So they were in a doubt that his son might collapse some way or his son was dead. Which Dasarada slowly told that I had killed him. Unknowingly, I have killed him by mistaking him as an animal. So please punish me for whatever sins I have accumulated. I am really sorry for this crime I have committed. So please give me any such punishment. As both of them told, since you have brought me to the state of Putra Shoka, of losing my own son, in that case, you will also lose your son. Not in this manner. In that, your son might go somewhere else, and that separation will be the reason for your death in, like in my case, which both of them, along with the body of the Shravana Kumara, jumped in the funeral pyre. Both, all the three, they have all sacrificed themselves. And at that time, Dasarada was very pleased because whatever the karma I have done, I have received the effect. But right now, I am suffering. I am dying because of that, because of my prarabdha. That is what Ramana Bhagavan told. Avanavan prarabdha prakaram aangang irudu aakkuvipan, which he told his mother Alagammal. As Alagammal was very desperate and she wanted Ramana Maharshi to come to Madurai. She wanted Venkatraman to come to Madurai. Previously it was Venkatraman. Before he sacrificed everything. Later, by Kavya Kantamuni, he was called as Ramana Maharshi. He was addressed as Ramana Maharshi. Previously, he was called as Venkatraman. And to the people, he was called as Brahmana Swami. And his mother was longing as she was desperate to bring Ramana to Venkatramanan to Madurai. And Ramana Maharshi was silent. He couldn't answer Alagammal's problem. He couldn't answer Alagamma's question. And he couldn't answer her. It doesn't mean that he can't. He can answer. And he was very desperate. He was also even more desperate that his mother would someday understand the plight of my situation. And he was very confident. So he stood still like a rock. He stood like a rock. And many people were there. His prime attendant Payani Swami, who was 30 years elder than Ramana Maharshi, told him to answer her queries. She's crying continuously. So tell her something. If you can't tell, at least write something in a piece of slate or on the place of paper. At least write something. As he has borrowed a pen and a paper from Payani Swami, and he wrote this message. Avanavan Prartha Prakaram Aangang Irundu Aaktu. I have told the half line of that. As he has told the Nadapadu Maunama Irpadu Nandre, which he has told in his last line that Maunama Irpadu Nandre. That to be quiet is the good thing which a person has to follow. Or else, Avanavan Prarabdha Prakaram. The world acts because of the Prarabdha. Because of the uncontrollable force of the Prarabdha, the world enacts. And because of the Prarabdha, because of the world, because of the Prarabdha Karma, the person would do whatever he is destined to do. So, We can't stop that very most activity. If a person is destined to die with no disease, he is destined to die. He is subjected to die. We can't stop them. As many astrologers say, if you have done this kind of parihara, this kind of offering to Bhagavan, automatically the person would be relieved. If a person does this kind of a problem, if he finds a solution, and that gives us the temporary solution, such that it would postpone the date of death rather than nullifying the death, which we have to underline it. And due to the prarabdha, I have attained this stage. So better be silent, which he has advocated his mother. And his mother, by reading it 2 3 times, then by reading it 2 3 times in 3 days, and suddenly she understood the meaning, the essence of what Ramana Maharshi has told. And at last she became her prime disciple. And her samadhi is only Matrabhuteshwara and Ramanashrama, which Ramana Maharshi himself has built that. Because of the prarabdha, Dasaratha is in that state, which he explained to Kausalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi. She was standing outside. He also berated Kaikeyi for her act. And suddenly, he, he felt asleep. And the next day came. Everyone woke up. And Kausalya was ready to wake Dasaratha, because tomorrow the day had started. He had to go to the kingdom, he had to go to the Sabha, which the Kausalya meticulously tried to wake Dasaratha. And before that, before he passed away, he has told, Haragava Mahabaho, Am Mamayasana, Ha Pitur Priyamenata, Hadyakwasi Sudaha, Iti Ramasthamatruscha, Sumitrayasya Nido, he has lamented in front of Ramasya Matascha, in front of Kausalya, in front of Sumitra, Sumitrayasya Nido. Before that, Ha Raghava Mahabahu, Ha Mamaya Shanashana. Before that, he has proclaimed, he has shouted in the name of Rama. By shouting Rama, he had left his body. He suddenly had departed. And that has shocked the entire people in Ayodhya, as well as the cabinet ministers, as well as the Kulaguru Preceptor Vasishta, and everyone were ready. And suddenly Vasishta took over the kingship duties. And under his supervision, Trailadonya Kailagota Matamatyaha Samvesha Jakatipatim Ete Duja Saha Matyehi Pritakvacha Mudiragane Narajake Janapade Yogakshemaha Pravartade Yata Hinutaka Nadyo Yata Vapyatrunam Vanam Trailadonya Matamatyaha. All the ministers, they all carried the box which is filled with oil. Samvesha Jagatimpatim, they placed Dasaratha's body into that oil to preserve his body, such that his sons would do the Antima Kriya, would do the final funeral rites to Dasaratha. Ete Dvija Sahamatyehi Pritak Vacha Mudirayan. All the Brahmins, they all told and they all ordered. Under their supervision, everything took place. Pritak Vacha Mudirayan. In another way, you can say that everyone chanted the mantras. And at that time, Nara Jake Janapade Yogakshemaha Pravartate. If there is no king, Yogakshemaha na Pravartate. Nothing beneficial, nothing good would occur to the people. Ete Hinudaka Nadyo Yata Vapyanritam Vanam. All the rivers, it would be dried. And all the forests, they won't yield better fruits because of no king. If there is no king, lot of thieves will circumvent the city, and they would loot all the treasures. And as a result, wherever see adharma will be dharma, and that would remove the base of Ishwaku Vamsa. So you have to appoint someone as a heir apparent to do the funeral rites, at the same time to take care of to safeguard the kingdom, such that the people would never sway away from dharma, which Vasishta took over. His preceptor Vasishta took over the kingship duties, and he wanted Yadyasu Matula Kule Dattarajyaha Param Sukhi, and he wanted Bharata to come here. and he requested all the spies and all the troops to bring Bharata from Kekaya, who was staying in his uncle's house, maternal uncle's house, by not telling the incident what happened in Ayodhya. And he was also and he knew about Bharata's thoughts, that if he asked about Ayodhya, tell them that everything are going as usual. Just tell them. At that time, the scene is shifted to Kaikeya. And some unusual dreams came in Bharata's mind. Something fishy and something that is inauspicious came in Bharata's presence. And he couldn't tolerate what has happened. And he has seen the vulture has been circulating in an anti-clockwise direction around the palace of Ayodhya. And he had seen his father's king crown falling, tumbled down. His feet. He has seen them falling down from the staircase, and seen his father falling down from the throne, and all the things and all the things and all the bad things and all the bad omens he had seen in his dream, Sopna. And suddenly he woke up Shatrughna that something strange is happening in Ayodhya, and I don't know how our father would be. I don't know how is his condition in Ayodhya, as I have seen a bad omen, something fishy I have seen. So at that time, the messengers came and they all were ready to take Bharata to Ayodhya. Before he bid farewell to Kekaya, his maternal uncle Yudhajit gave him all the gifts before he bid departure to Kekaya. And the charioteer was driving very fast, and Bharata was very wondered why he's driving very fast. Why can't he go so in a calm manner? And he stopped while he was about to do Sandhya Vandana. He asked the charioteer about the condition in Ayodhya, how the people are. And he told everything were good as usual, as remarked by, as told by Vasishta. Which Bharata wondered that I think something is going good in Ayodhya. So Bharata was ready, he left to Ayodhya. Somehow reached Ayodhya. By looking at Ayodhya, nothing was there. And people were there to welcome Ayodhya. They were ready to garland Bharata for his 2-3 years of stay in Kekaya. So people were very desperate to garland Bharata since he was the king of Dasartha. So none of the people were there. They all closed their verandas, they all closed their doors, and they all stood in their homes. No one were there to welcome Bharata, and no one were there to respect Bharata. And all the girls who would put rangoli in the floor, no, none of the girls were there. And there was pin drop silence in Ayodhya. Nobody were there. And slowly he entered Dasaratha's Bhavan. Slowly entered the palace. All the cabinet ministers were waiting outside. They all clasped their hands. They all were silent. And they all were hesitant to tell him the departure of Dasaratha Chakravarti. And they weren't ready to say. So Bharata was ready. He went to the cabinet. He went to the king. He went to the Sabha where Dasaratha conducts meetings. At that time, when he entered that Sabha, nobody were there. Even the Maharaj, even Dasaratha Maharaja wasn't there. And he checked for, and he went to Kausalya Bhavan. He went to Sumitra Bhavan. Nobody were there. And he went to, and at last he went to Kaikeyi Bhavan to ask where his father is. To ask the whereabouts of his son, of Dasaratha. Which he asked Kaikeyi. And Kaikeyi hugged him because he came he came after 2-3 years, and she welcomed him. And she addressed him that, and she held Bharata's hands, and Bharata told, "Mother, where is our father? Where he is?" And Kaikeyi remarked, "Yagatihi sarvabhutanam tam gatim te pita gataha Raja Mahatma Tejasvi ya yajukaha satan gatihi." She casually remarked, "Ya gatihi sarvabhutanam tam gatim te pita gatihi." He had gone to the place where the noble souls have attained. To that place, to that destination, Dasaratha had went. Raja Mahatma Tejasvi to that place where the Mahans, to that place where the Mahans mendicants were there, because of their austerities and because of the austerities they have performed over the years during their lifetime. To that place, our father has been placed, which he told in a casual way, and that has frightened Bharata. And Bharata told, Ahatosmi iti kripanam dinam vacham udirayan. Oh mother, you have literally killed me by these words. Nipapata Mahabahu Bahu Vikshepa Viryavan. He, by saying these words, he has collapsed. Abhipreshati Ramam to Raja Yagyam Nayakshyate. And slowly he gained his consciousness and he asked, where is our Rama? Where he is? And Kaikeyi calmly told, Mata Jagada Yugapat Vipriyam Priyashankaya Sai Rajasuta Putra Shiravasa Mahavanam Dandakan Sahavidehya Lakshmananu Charokataha. And Dasaratha was really perplexed. He was during his time, he couldn't tell you the truth. The truth is, Rama went to forest and he was banished to forest for 14 years of exile. And Bharata wondered, for what? For what did you banish Rama? For the sake, because of you. I want you to ascend the throne of being the king of Ayodhya. Nothing. I want you to be the king of Ayodhya. That is the only pratana and that is the only wish I asked Dasaratha. And Dasaratha has suddenly left this body. He has left this world. That is the only thing I want. I have decided, I have begged Dasaratha to send Rama for 14 years of exile. I want you to assume, by being the king of Ayodhya, to resume the kingship duties. I don't want anybody. Which Kaikeyi addressed. And that has even more frustrated, that has added even more fuel to the fire. And Bharata was hot red. And he lost his schooling, he has become more temperamental. He couldn't control his emotions. And he asked, for what purpose did you send Rama? What did he do? Kaschinna brahmanadanam hitam ramena kasyachit. He didn't, for what sort of crime did Rama do? Kaschinna brahmanadanam, to whose did Rama usurp all the wealth from the Brahmin, from the Brahman? And Kaikeyi replied, Na brahmanadanam kinchit adrutam ramena dhimata. Rama was always self-sufficient. He was happy with whatever he had. And why should he go after to usurp all the Brahmins' wealth? And he also asked, and Bharata was really, he was steadfast. And he really wanted Rama, he wanted Rama to be in this place. So he further asked, Kaschinna Paradaranva Rajaputro Abhimanyate. Did he have an external affair with other girls? And to that, Kaikeyi answered, Narama Paradarancha Chakshudra Chakshubhyam Avibashyati Mayati Putra Suttevam Ramasaiva Abhisechanam. Rama had the qualities to be to resume to be the king of Ayodhya, but he didn't go after any girl because Ekapatni Vratam. He always loved Sita. And why should he look after another girl? Yachitase Pita Ratyam Ramasya cha Vivasanam. I just begged Dasaratha to give you the crown. No other thing I asked. I had no doubt on Rama's celibacy. I had no doubt on Rama's self-sufficiency. I had no doubt on that. He is qualified and he was qualified to be the king of Ayodhya. But out of compassion towards you, I wanted you to take the duty. I want you to see how you rule the kingdom, which Kaikeyi has addressed. And slowly Bharata took an oath that he couldn't hear Kaikeyi's words. And he cold-shouldered her and he berated her that you are really a Satan and you are responsible to bring the kingdom in such state. So it's a sin to speak with you. So Bharata had gave a detailed list of oath that whatever the sins I do, if I wake up a cow which was asleep, that kind of sin might incur on me. If I steal the wealth accumulated with the Brahmanas, and that sin must affect me. If I had an affair, illicit affair with another girl, that affair must, and that sin must, and that sin must hurt me. Which by giving an entire list to show that a person must not follow all the lists. Means a person must be चेषु चापि हार्येषु नैव भवितुमर्हति इति सम्भाषमाणे तु शत्रुघ्ने लक्ष्मणानुजे. And slowly, sorry, by giving all the by giving sorry, by taking the oath of whatever the problems and whatever the things he had accumulated, that has to inflict on me, to show that the person must not follow these problems. If a person reads this, he would be free from all the sins which Bharata had pledged. By taking the pledge, slowly by under Vasishta's supervision, Bharata did all the final rites of Dasaratha Chakravarti, as he was kept in oil bath for 13 days, such that no one would look after that body. His body was very preserved, and Bharata did all the funeral rites prescribed in the Shastras, and he was desperate, and he was really desperate to make Rama the king of Ayodhya. And Vasishta was ready to give him the crown, and Bharata politely neglected it. That he wasn't ready, and he didn't desire to resume the kingship duties. So he wanted to bring Rama. So he wanted to meet. He didn't want to stay in Kausalya's Bhavan. He insisted, and he wanted to stay in Kaikeyi's Bhavan. He is not interested to stay in Kaikeyi's Bhavan, because of her act that has led to the departure of Dasaratha, that has led to the death of Dasaratha. So he firmly rejected Kaikeyi's order, and he wanted to meet Kausalya. And Kausalya was very doubtful that both Kaikeyi and Bharata had planned for Dasaratha's death, as well as 14 years of Rama's banishment to forest for Dandakaranya, which Kausalya initially doubted. And by hearing Bharata's pledge, she was partially convinced, and she hugged Bharata. And Bharata was ready to bring Rama, as Rama was in Vanavasa. Bharata was ready to somehow bring Rama. And he wanted Rama to be the king, to succeed Dasaratha, to his father. But he was very adamant in that. And Sumitra and Kausalya both consoled him. And by using their power and by using their order, Bharata was ready to leave Ayodhya and to know where Rama was. By hearing all the news, they heard that Rama was in Chitrakuta, which initially the people doubted Bharata. By looking at Bharata's devotion, people got entrapped and they got enslaved, and they were in awe to support Bharata, to praise Bharata. Nobody were there, and everyone followed Bharata. And they got whatever the hope they lost, they again regained it, because of a sleep we have lost Rama. At least by respecting Bharata, at least by adhering Bharata, let us see Rama. Before that, Bharata, even though he didn't resume the kingship duties, he had followed Vasishta's orders to lay a road from Ayodhya to Singlibelapura. And that's what in Sarga, in 85th Sarga, Marga Samskaraha, there are hundreds of slokas, which how Bharata along with the people had laid a road in Ayodhya with people's assistance. The two people of different castes came, those who sell the garland and those who do austerities. All the people from different ranges, they all assisted, they all came along with Bharata. For what? To see Rama, to see Rama's darshan. In some way, he has convinced all the people. And the one truth is, he had somehow reached Sringibelapura. To that place, he met Guha. And Guha was very doubtful. And Guha asked Bharata, Kaschinna dushto vrajasi Ramasya krishta karmanaha iyam te mahati sena shankam janayati vame. And he Guha in a fit of rage berated Bharata kaschinna dusto vrajasi. And what kind of and what mind do you possess? Do you possess a mind which is a piece of stone? Kruto lamasya klishta karmanaha. And for what sake you have come here? Right now you are the king of Ayodhya. Better stay in Ayodhya and for what purpose you came here? Iyam te bhati sena shankananeti me. And why do you bring those truths? Are you ready to kill Rama? Which Guha spoke. And Bharata controlled his temper, because if a person speaks like that, if we are in that stage, we would wage a war on that person. But while you seek Bharata, Mahabhuta Sakalo Yatkashtam Namam Shankitumargasi Tam Nivartayitum Yami Kakutstam Vanavasinam. I wanted to give this crown to Rama. I don't want to take the kingship duties. I don't desire for that. And I also clarified everyone, even the troops, that I am not interested in assuming the role of being the king of Ayodhya. I wanted to bestow the crown to Rama, and I wanted to request Rama to follow me, follow me to reach Ayodhya. That is the only desire which I long. I don't want anything, which Bharata firmly told Guha. And Guha was very Rama Vyavahartam Ramaya Vyavaharat Aratam Bahuchopahritam Maya. Ramaya Vyavaharatam Bahuchopahritam Maya. That Rama had stayed in this place by showing the places where Guha had served Rama, by offering by the places incidences where when he offered fruit to him, when he offered water to him, and when he offered the milk that is obtained from the palm tree to tie his hair, and all the incidents where Guha narrated to Bharata. And under Guha's direction, he went to Bharatwaj Ashrama. And here the beauty is, here the thing is, Bharatwaja also suspected Bharata. He didn't suspect like what Guha did. Here Bharatwaja told, Bharatwajashramam drishtva Kroshadeva Narasabha Balam Sarvavastapya Bharatwajam Tato Yayo. Balam Sarvavastapya Bharatwajam Tato Yayo. Kimiha Gamane Karyam Tavarajam Prashasataha Kachinna Tasya Papasya Papam Kartu Bhirchasi. And he asked, why did you come here? Kimiha Gamane Karyam Tavarajam Prashasataha. You got your king. The same way Guha told. Kachinna Tasya Papasya Papam Kartu Miharasi. You don't know you are committing sin. You are committing a grave sin. You are committing a sin once more again. So better you leave this place. And why you are looking after Rama? Which Bharatwaja slammed Bharata. And Bharata further told, Hatosmi yadimamevam Bhagavan apimanyate na chaitadishtam mata me yadavochan madantare. Yadavochan madantare. That I couldn't expect your words. I couldn't expect your hard words. And how I couldn't expect you suspecting me. Since you are Bhagavan api manite, you're equal to Bhagavan, you're a Maharishi. You know everything. You do everything. And how could you suspect me? Which Bharata told in a polite manner. And slowly, by looking at the people, and Bharatwaja told that, I know you, Bharata. I clearly know you. I just want to test you. Which Bharatwaja wasn't satisfied that Bharatwaja was first satisfied that he was a good brother of Rama. And another clarification which Bharatwaja had, that is he really nearing for Rama? That one clarification, one doubt which Bharatwaja had. So by looking at the people, by mentioning them that your people have come a long way around to Triveni. So it's my duty to serve them. So by using Kushalam Bharatasyastu Ramasyasata Sukam Bharatasyanu Sargo Yamiti Cha Bruvanne. That's before that, Bharatwaja had given everything. He brought all the devatas from the heaven to serve all the people, and the people were really pleased because for the past 2 3 weeks they were they were they sacrificed their sleep, they sacrificed their food, they sacrificed their livelihood for the sake of Rama, for the sake of meeting Rama. They all came all the way along. So, by the way, Bharatwaja gave them all lots of pressure because they are all are Rama's devotees. It's my prime duty to serve Rama, which Bharatwaja served gleefully, and people were very delighted as they didn't see this kind of chappan boj elsewhere. Generally, if we go to a hotel, it's a five-star hotel. If they give us North Indian meals, for us, it will be like chappan boj. Aha, nice meal. As in Maya Bazaar, a famous song used to come. Kalyana Samayal Sadam, Kaigarigali Pramadam, இது கௌரவ பிரசாதம் இதுவே எனக்கு போதும், which we all know because we have heard it numerous number of times. That song, the same song came in Telugu, Vivaha Bhojanambu. That kind of feeling which people had, because in the comedy in that song is, here the singer would mention all the varieties. Similarly, all kind of varieties, Mysore Pak, Jangri, Jalebi, everything came on their place. Nobody served them. When a person thought, I want Mysore Pak, at that moment Mysore Pak came on their plates. Similarly, their favorable dishes, just by their thoughts, everything came automatically. And everyone were delighted. And for some person, some people, they had some back pain. They had some sprain. Those people did some massage, which everyone did. And by having all the chappan boj, by having all the things while they entered into the stomach, suddenly they all gasped and they went to sleep. Everyone was sleeping with a high snoring voice. Everyone felt asleep. And Bharata didn't even partake the food offered by Bharatwaja. And Bharatwaja was very happy. And he wanted to somehow please Bharata. And he showed him the throne. By looking at the throne, suddenly the Bhava came inside him. Kushalam Bharatasyasu Ramasyasu Tatasukam. By looking at that, so Kushalam Bharatasyasu Ramasyasu Tatasukam. Like, well, look at that, take this chair. If you sit in this chair, Ramasyasu Tatasukam, that will also impress Rama. Bharatasyanu yatara Swargoyamiti Chabruvanne. Bharatasyanu yataraha. Like Bharata didn't accept all the meals given that came from Devaloka. And he was initially resistant to sit in the chair. And Bharata looked at that chair. Sukoshitosismi Bhavan Bhagavanne Samagra Balavavanaha Tarpita Sarvagameischa Samatyo Bhagavanstwaya. Like, this chair is very wonderful, but rather than me sitting on it, it's better if we seat Rama on that. It would be very wonderful. That was the bhava which Tyagaraja told in his, mentioned in his Kirtana. Upachara mulano Chekona Vaya Uraga Raga Shayana, which he has mentioned. And the beauty in this verse is Nike Takumaya. And whatever the upachara and whatever the things which I offer to you, it is always bestowed to you. And you are the person who is qualified to take those upacharas. I am not qualified. Which Tyagaraja told when his house hut was half broken, and in that 4 places water circulated, and his house was wholly wet. That too, when that too in the period of rainfall, that too in Puratasi month. In that place, lot of rain would occur. In that place, in that situation, he had nothing to offer to Rama. He had only a davara. He had only a 1 cup of milk to offer Rama. That in Telugu is called Aragim Pave Rama Palu Aragimpave in Todi. He had Aragimpave. Rama, I am offering you this milk. That shows the Bhava which Bharata also had. Whatever the credits and whatever the pleasures which the people and other people give to us, it must first reach Rama. If Rama endures, if he accepts all these pleasures with these pleasures, if Rama was along with that, that would give me that would be very convincing, and that would also give me some contentment. So better I want Rama to sit in this chair, which he told Bharatwaja. And Bharatwaja was very impressed by his steadfast devotion. That shows the Bharata's bhakti. And he was very desperate. And he asked about where did Rama go? And under Bharatwaja's supervision, and he told, Rama is in Chitrakuta. You can meet him right time. You can meet him at this time. Then slowly Bharata was about to leave. And suddenly people came into their senses, came back to their senses that because of my sleep, I have lost everything. Even Bharata I have lost it because of these pleasures. So it's better. We have to follow somehow. We have to recover the speed. So people somehow by looking at the footprints of Bharata, they all followed, they all traced Bharata, and people were really delighted to uh, be along with Bharata. And Bharata was continuously contemplating on Rama, Rama, Rama. He was contemplating, thinking, continuously thinking on Rama. And the people were really praised. They were impressed by Bharata's devotion. And they were ready to meet Rama. At that time, Lakshmana heard what was happening around. Dwari Tishtati Lakshmanaha, which Sumantra told Dasratha that he would always stand as a god. So Lakshmana was ready to guard Rama, to save Rama. So he climbed he climbed on the tree, and slowly he saw the truths, and he slowly saw everyone, and he cautioned Rama, Rama, our brother Bharata is coming. He's he was ready. He was greedy for he had agreed on assuming kingship of being the king of Ayodhya. So better we have to kill him. He had came along with his troops. Better be ready for the next war, which he has cautioned Rama, and Rama told Lakshmana to, and Rama slowly in a calm way told Lakshmana, please come down, please get down, and he has convinced Lakshmana that why you are getting tensed. Ava mantu samabhyeti Bharata Kaikeyi Sudha Sampra, and Rama told Ambam च कैकेयी उष्य परुषम चा प्रियम वदन्ने प्रासाद्य पितरम श्रीमान राज्य में ददातुमागतः नही ते निष्ठुरम वाचो भरतो ना प्रियम वचः अहम विप्रयुक्तस्याम भरतस्या प्रिये कृते. There Rama firmly tells about Bharata's emotions and Bharata's actions, that Bharata didn't embrace greed as well as rivalry with me. He didn't engage rivalry with me. He loved me, that too far greater than you loved me, like you shower affection to me. He is also my brother, so he won't have that kind of attitude. And he came along with his troops to give me to crown me as a king of Ayodhya, as he wasn't interested to be the king of Ayodhya. So he was ready to crown him as a king of Ayodhya. That was his prime objective. He had no such desire to be the king of Ayodhya. First, you have to understand him. Next, if he was also equal, he had the equal physique and equal valor compared to us. If he literally wants to fight with us, he doesn't need the troops to fight with us. He himself is enough to fight with us. So don't mistake and don't misunderstand Bharata's emotions as well as Bharata's actions. Like Lakshmana, if you really want to be the king of Ayodhya, I would tell Bharata to pass the crown to him. And you can better be the king of Ayodhya. I will go along with Bharata. And that has hurt Lakshmana's ego, that Lakshmana had the ego that I am always close with Rama. And that has brought an end to Lakshmana's ego. Lakshmanevam yadi brudam vadavityeva vakshasi atokto dharmashilena pratya tasya kiterataha Lakshmanaha praviveshaiva sani tatrani lajjaya tadvakyam Lakshmana suddha viditaha prattivachaha. And that has brought a sense of shyness in Lakshmana's mind. And he had he had accepted that whatever he spoke was wrong, and he refused to Rama. And at that time, Bharata was searching everywhere, and he had suddenly made up. He had suddenly, and in between he made a pledge. Yavanna Rama Pakshya, Yavanna Ramam Dakshyami, Lakshmanam Va Mahavalam, Vaidehi Ma Mahabhagam, Name Shantir Bhavishyati, Yavanna Charano Vratuhu, Pattiva Vyanjayan Vito, Pragrishyami Shirasa, Name Shanti Bhavishyati, Yavanna Rajyaraha, Pitrvaita Mastitaha, Abhisheka Jalakrinno, नमे शांतिर्भविष्यति पद्भ्यामेव महाबाहुः रविवेश महत्वनं which he has pledged again yavanna ramam dakshayami lakshmanam va mahabalam. If I couldn't see Rama, Lakshmana as well as Sita, Vaidehi ma mahabaha nabe shantim bhavishyati, I won't be peaceful. Yavanna charano bratuhu parthiva vyanjanan vitau. If I couldn't submit my slippers to Rama, Pragrishyami Sirasa Nabe Shanti Bhavishyati. And if I couldn't get Rama's slippers from here, if I wouldn't get his slippers, I won't be convinced, I won't be consoled. Abhisheka Jalakne Nabe Shanti Bhavishyati. If I couldn't coronate Rama, then my peace would be shattered into pieces, which Bharata pledged. Then slowly, a glance occurred in Bharata's eyes. Then slowly he entered into the big vana, big forest. At that time, the moment he saw Rama, Niriksha Samuhurtantu, Dadarsha Bharado Gurum, Utaje Ramamasinam, Jata Mandaladarinam. By looking at Rama, Jata Mandaladarinam, he was adorned with Jata, and he wore all the cloths, materials from the tree bark. By looking at him, one hand, one leg, he has rested it on the left thigh. By looking at him, he didn't see Rama as his elder brother. He saw Rama as a Dadarsha Bharado Gurum, as a guru. And suddenly, instead of hugging him, he fell on Rama's feet. And he has prostrated to Rama that, Rama, Anna, brother, please take the kingship duties, which he has requested him. And slowly, Rama asked him, how is our father? Is he better? And how about our mother? Everyone are better. Which Rama slowly asked him. And that in the next sarga, it talks about how about everyone and how are everyone, which comes as Kachit sarga. That is around 80 slokas in the next sarga. Then Rama tells Bharata that how about our father? Sir Rama Swargatam Sutva Pitaram Prithvi Patim Kimutasya Maya Karyam Durjakena Mahatmanaha Durjatena Mahatmana. Rama was thunderstruck by hearing the departure of Dasharatha Chakravarti as he has attained Swarga. So he had taken some areka nut from that is collected in the trees. He had taken some areka nut and he offered and he did the funeral rites of his father, even though he couldn't physically do that. He did some tarpana for father's rights. And so that's why similar to Gaya, Chitrakuta is a place for us to offer rights to our forefathers. And to do Shraddha, it is also a better place because Rama had done Shraddha, because Rama has done his father's Shraddha over there. There also Ganga is there. In that place, Rama offered Shraddha to Dasharatha Chakravarti. And Kausalya was very worried that even though Anedingudu Vinyakam Chira Mahara Chotaram Sita Purastad Brajatu Tomena Bhito Braja, like he ordered Sita Lakshmana to bring the areka nut from the trees and he did the Tarpana and the Shraddha under Vasishta's supervision. And Kausalya mother suddenly thought that even though he was the king of Ayodhya as well as all the devas assisted him, for him to satisfy his thirst, just an areka nut was just enough to satisfy him. Even though he was the king of Ayodhya, he had the status, very good status. For him, Areka Nut was enough to satisfy him, which Kausalya proclaimed, which Kausalya lamented. And Rama slowly consoled Bharata, and he gave the Upadesha of how a king has to be and how a king has to rule the kingdom, which he taught him Rajya Dharma. And Bharata again pressed Rama to take the kingship duties. And he told, Rajyova Vanavasova Vanavaso Mahodaya. For me, this forest life is good. I am very happy with that. I'm very contented with that. So, you better assume the role of the king. You better be the king of Ayodhya. So, everyone tried. Jabali tried, Vasishta tried, everyone tried. And Rama told them, convinced them in a polite way. By their conviction, and Bharata asked, what shall I do, what shall I do, brother? And Rama silently gave his Paduka. That is what is said in Paduka Sahasram. Bharataya param namostu tasmai pratamodda haranaya bhakti paja yedubhagyam ajayasata prithvyam gatito ragava Paduka prabhavaha. There he has highlighted the greatness of Paduka which Ranganatha adored while he was in Srirangam. There, by looking at the Paduka, he composed thousands of slokas. That too, in one night, that too, just 45 minutes has composed. By looking at the Paduka, Bharataya Param Namos Tasmai, I bow to Bharata. Pratamoddaharanaya Bhakti Bhaja is an example. He is an example of how Pratamoddaharanaya Bhakti Bhajam to show the greatness of Paduka. Yadupagya Mashe Sata Prithivya. While Dasartha was a king of Ayodhya, that time Tataka, Maricha, Subahu came. And while Rama was sent to exile, while Rama was the king of, when Rama became the king of Ayodhya, and that time there was Asura called Lavanasura who was ruling Mathura. And in between Dasartha and Rama's kingship period, in between them, when Rama was sent to 14 years of exile, Paduka excelled as an excellent ruler. Because none of the Asuras came in Ayodhya, no threat was in Ayodhya, and no threat to the Maharshis while they were doing yaga. Yadupakya Maseshata Prithivya, it was an excellent ruler. Gatito Raghava Paduka Pravaha. It didn't show Rama's qualities. Because since it was a chappal, it was a Paduka to Rama, it showed its own manifestation of being an excellent ruler. And to that, who was example is Bharata was an example because he pressed and he believed in that Paduka. By receiving that Paduka, Adirohakya Padabhyam Paduke Hema Bhushite Etai Sarva Lokasya Lokakshemam Vidasyataha Adirohakya Padabhyam Paduke Hema Bhushite. And out of emotion, out of bhava, he clasped the two Padukas and he kept it on his head. Etehi sarvalokasya lokakshemam yogakshemi vidasyataha. And that gives me the containment and that gives me the sense of fulfillment in my mind, which Bharata happily, gracefully received the Paduka, and he further pledged that whatever the attire which Rama had adorned, I would wear the similar attire. Second, I won't assume the kingship duties of Ayodhya. But my brother has convinced me. But since if Rama has convinced me to take the role of being the king of Ayodhya, but I won't enjoy those lavish pleasures as a king. I would just do the duty. Instead of me, this Paduka would be mounted on the chair of mounted on the Singhasan, rather than me physically sitting on the Simhasan. So I won't stay in Ayodhya. I would stay in Nandigram, longing for 14 years of exile. If Rama didn't complete the 14 years of exile, I would sacrifice my life, which he had pledged. Even though Bharata was ready to go for Prayopavesha, he was ready to go for fasting. Rama stopped that because it is not his duty to be that. It is not his duty to go for fasting. But Bharata had taken a pledge of fasting. This can be fasting, but he has assumed the role of being the king of Ayodhya. Here he didn't want to enjoy the pleasures in Ayodhya. That is the only thing Bharata has highlighted. And Rama was very pleased by Bharata's devotion, and everyone went to their own places. And Rama was ready to leave Chitrakuta. Then after by all the Brahmins supervision, by receiving all the orders from the Brahmin, from the Kulapati, Rama slowly went to Chitrakuta. Slowly left Chitrakuta, and he entered Dandakaranya. Till that Ayodhya Kanda is over. Before he went to Dandakaranya, he met Atri Anasuya. To them, Atri Anasuya gave a upadesha of how a chaste woman has to be. Whatever the position the person might be, Dushilaha Kamavrittova, whatever the position, let he be a womanizer and let he be of a bad contact, whatever he might be. The main primary duty of a chaste woman is to stay along with him, to give him a moral support, which Anasuya advised um, Sitama, and Sitama told that he was to the people, to whomever woman he would speak with them, he would look them as Kausalya, which she highlighted the guna, the attributes of Rama, and Rama was really happy. And Anasuya was very desperate that she couldn't she couldn't attend for the Sita Swayamvar because she had some work. So through her words, Sita had narrated how she was married with Rama, which she narrated by hearing the Sita Kalyanam from Sita's words. Anasuya was very pleased, and both of them received and three of them received blessings from Atri Anasuya, and slowly they entered into Dandakaranya. With that, the Ayodhya Kanda is over, and from the next month, and from the next week on November 9th, which is actually my birthday, in that day we would see Aranya Kandam, and in that very important episode is Jatayu and Sabari Moksha. On the next session of Satsang, we'll see that. Janaki Kantasparanam Jai Jai Rama Rama Sadguru Swami Naha Jai Anjaneya Swami Naha Jai.